Now then people, it's Joe or Leeds TV. How is everybody doing? Claudio, if you're there mate, if you could give us a little share in all the Facebook groups and let's get some folk watching. My feckin' dryer's on for a start. Not the best start, is it? I had my feckin' dryer on, apologies for that. How's everyone doing then? You know, after the debacle that was Saturday, I think we all built it up right, and rightly so. We're all a little bit gutted, still a bit sore. I think I know I am. You know, I've had to go to work today, and naturally, as you can imagine, to fans of opposing teams, coming to rub it in as per. You know, it's what you expect, right? I'm just at the minute really worried. It's a massive game on Saturday now. It's just made it even bigger. Little bit of change of scenery, as you can see. Nice little picture there. I put it as my thumbnail. Jackie Boy, Bremner and Lorimer. So a nice little photo for you all. Some proper legends there, some true legends. We could have done with them on Saturday night. So what's everyone's thoughts then at the minute? You know, post Norwich. I know there's been a lot of mention all over social media and stuff about changes being made. I think even Bielsa's come out and said so himself that he'd like to see changes. So you know, what do you guys think? What I do want to do as well is just address a few comments. I had over I think it was over 7,000 views, which is really big, especially for a loss. I think I seem to see we're pulling a lot of opposing fans in as well, which is good for interaction. But I just want to look at a few comments that were made and just address them. Gary M, who was a Norwich fan, basically said, "I think you need to watch the game again. You are deluded. Norwich are far superior." Second half, yes, and I know a lot of Leeds fans disagreed with me as well, but I thought we were very, very good first half. I think they got lucky. Obviously, I don't know what Pontus is doing, trying to bring it out from the back there. He took a heavy touch, challenged. He then tried to retrieve the ball and gave away a silly free kick. For me, the free kick wasn't going in. Obviously, the deflection helped it on its way in. For the second goal, what's Forshaw doing getting caught there? And that'll bring me on to the need for KP. I think we all can agree that, I think we all assumed KP was going to be in the lineup. We all thought it was a given. He didn't start. I've said before, I think Forshaw's Bielsa's boy. Made that change on Saturday though, who knows? And I do think, you know, we were okay the first half. I thought we did well. I don't think I'm deluded to say that we did okay and we were the better team in the first half. I know we're 2-0 behind, but I genuinely believe we were the better team first half. Second half's a totally different kettle of fish, and I'll be right, you know, Norwich battered us, and Daniel Farker had a good game plan. He said, you know, it's not usual for us to have so little of the ball, but we were aware, you know, they can have the ball, you know, let them have the ball. And I think Tim Krul's come out now and said, apparently Farker had said, you know, respect them, wait for them to make errors and then pounce. You know, they're not Barcelona. And that brings me on to Tim Krul actually as well. Can you actually believe, like, I don't want to go too much into it because I'll get angry, but can you actually believe that he's not even being sanctioned by the EFL for his headbutt on Bamford? I can guarantee you now, if that was any one of our boys, he'd be getting battered for it, and we all know that as well. But let's not touch on what others have had to say, you know. Also, another Norwich fan, to be fair, said it was an excellent review. Say it from your heart, say it as you see it. From his point of view, we didn't deserve to be behind at half time, so I think that's fair play. But you failed to win enough corners. We're terrible at defending them. It then becomes the case of who scores from open play, and we're beating most at that. And I have to agree there in terms of, I mean, even if we'd have got corners, the deliveries from Alioski are never going to hit bodies. It's just a fact, unfortunately. But I said it in my post-match, every time Norwich went forward, it looked to me like they could score. Whereas us, Tita Green, as I said in my post-match, we're totally fine, but when we get there, it breaks down. Every attack, you're thinking, right, is this the one, is this the one? And I think we're going to see a lot of that at Borough. I think we'll have a lot on the ball. It'll just be breaking them down. They'll probably play 5 at the back, 3 across the middle and 2 wing-backs. You know, I've been speaking to a lot of my mates today, and a lot of them think the fans, they just want 2 up top. Yeah, Borough fans, they want 2 up top, and they want to see Britt and Hugill leading the line. And my mate seems to think that won't happen, and he'll play Hugill. Even though Britt's had, you know, he scored some goals on the weekend, but I think Hugill's more Pulis's boy, and they seem to think that straight away will get the fans feeling negative about the fixture, because they want to see an attacking brand of football, and they can go away to West Brom, for example, and get a result, but then at home, the home form's really good. My friend doesn't think they're going to sell out. That's why we got more tickets, so that'll be interesting to see, because normally when we come to town, they do sell out Borough. So it'll be interesting to see, and you know, we'll see how they line up. And I also wanted to touch on Wayne Mace's comment. Wayne Mace comments a lot on our video. He does support us, you know, he does come on, and he said, had BPF let the 3rd goal in, you would have gone into meltdown. For me, when the 3rd goal went in, me and my mate were like, what the fuck, how has that gone in? It was at the south stand end, so I didn't see it, right? But on reflection, there's a slight nick off Cooper that takes it out of his path. So I don't think, I mean, it's easy with hindsight, and maybe, you know, I might have questioned BPF more, but I just don't think for the 3rd goal, there's anything Casilla can do about it. I think the slight nick off Cooper takes it away from him. But let's be honest, the 3 goals we conceded, Pontus Jansson makes an error in losing the ball, try to bring it out from the back, and it's a heavy touch. The passing out from the back seems to have just gone. So yeah, he makes a heavy touch, he loses the ball, he makes the challenge, they score a free kick. For the 2nd, there's a pinged ball from Ayling that smashes it across the roof in a congested area. He plays it to Forshaw. Forshaw's foot tries to put his foot on the ball, slips, they go. 3rd goal, you know, it's a slight nick off Cooper, it ends in the back of the net. Yes, they were the better team on the night, especially the 2nd half. I thought we were better first half, but look, we didn't get the rub of the green. But ultimately, we lost the game. And like Conor, I've not seen it, but I know Conor's just briefly mentioned there about Norwich now building up a gap, and I can see it myself, because if you look at Norwich's next fixtures, for example, you could see them run away with it. And I think we're in a dogfight now for 2nd with Sheffield United, West Bromwich Albion and Middlesbrough. I put that to a few of my Middlesbrough friends, and they were like, nah, not a chance, they won't make top 2, don't worry about us. But at the minute, I think we're in a bit of a dogfight. Main worry would be West Brom. I can't deal with dropping into the playoffs. I just can't deal with that shit. But it is what it is. I'm gonna touch on a few of your comments, as I say. Let's have a look then. How's it going, Joe, mate? Stephen Hoy says, how's it going, Joe, mate? Still gutted myself. Poor game all round. Yeah, I think we're all a little bit gutted. I think it was built up massively as well, much like the Derby game, and we just got a bit of a hiding, didn't we? LUFC 03 says, Joe, Phillips needs to come back in as against Norwich. All of their attacks started through the centre. Phillips would have broke down a lot more in that game. I agree, mate. I think Phillips has to come back in for Saturday. I think there's a shout for a fair few people to come out. I'd even start Bamford, and I know a lot of you have asked that as well. I would start Bamford, and that's no slight on Roof. Maybe even you play Bamford in the 10, possibly. But I think the difference, you know, Roof's mint going in behind and stuff and stuff. But I think when we're facing a team, I think Bamford's better technically in terms of touching the ball. And I think against the back 5, probably against Borough and against his old squad, you know, his old team, I would probably like to see Bamford in there as well. Definitely KP. If that means moving Forshaw up or just dropping Forshaw. I know there's been a lot of stuff on Twitter, and I know we as a group, as a fan channel, have spoke about, has Forshaw warranted his price tag? Was it 4 million, 4.5 million? Listen, was it as worse as the Norwich Nottingham Forest performance? He's just not had a great couple of weeks, has he? I thought he did really well against Derby. But if KP's available, that's KP's role. That's KP's role. The one thing that does worry me is the stubbornness of Bielsa. He's famous for being stubborn. Will he make changes? Will Ayling get dropped, for example? Because for me, I think Ayling should come out of the side as well. He's not been the same player. Lynchy says, guys, the performance wasn't that bad. They got 3 very lucky goals and it happens. We move on. Yeah, I mean, look what happened after the West Brom game. We went on a run. Let's hope we can do something similar. I have to agree. Yes, Norwich were far better, but they did get the rub of the green with the goals. You know, these things happen. I'm still down about it, as you can see. Sean Wilson says, I think the bubble has burst. I was full of optimism after Villa. I hate being negative. I just can see us falling away. I hope you're wrong. Obviously, it is going to be the next few games are going to be massive for Leeds United. Let's be honest. You know, we've got Borough away. It's a must win. It's a must win. We've then got Swansea at home. I think we've got QPR. We've got West Brom coming up. You know, these next few fixtures for us are absolutely huge. Massive, so big. But I'm not going to get. We're going to get top 6. You know, I've always said we'll get top 2. And I still think that's a possibility. You know, I still think we will get that. You know, football's fickle, as you know. I mean, before the Norwich game, we're winning the league. Now I'm down. You know, and I'm thinking, are we going to get top 2? It's going to be difficult. Listen, let's not hide behind. We have lost 4 of the last 6, right? That's massive. 4 games out of 6 for a team that are top of the table. You can't afford to do that. And that's why there's so much riding on this Borough game. We have to perform. We have to win the game, in my opinion. It's a must-win. Yeah, there's a long way to go. It's 16 games, 16 cup finals. But it's a must-win, man. You know, not only that, it's my fucking birthday as well, man. I'm 31 on Saturday, so we can't be losing that game. Ian Mozza says, I work in Norwich and they were merciless. Even fans of other teams took the piss. It's what we open ourselves up to, that being Leeds fans. I think if it's any other side, it's not that big of a deal. But being Leeds fans, people love to twist the knife. I spoke to you about my friend. He comments on the videos, Ginger Smoggy. Within fucking 5 minutes of me coming out of the stadium, I had a text from him. If you play like that against us, we'll batter you. We'll see, Borough. We will see. Stephen Hoy says we need Phillips, Brown and Bamford. Yeah, that's another one. For me, Izzy Brown's done enough now. Get him on the fucking bench. Get him on the bench at least. What I don't understand is you don't speak about Bamford for weeks. No one knows where he's at. He makes a surprise appearance on the bench. He comes off the bench and scores. For me, Brown's done enough. You know what I mean? He's played more minutes than what Paddy Bamford has. He scores goals in the under-23s all the time. And we're lacking options. We need to change things up, man. We need to change things up. Conor's put a nice little juicy comment, so we'll get to that in a bit. Let's have a look. Joe and Aaron, Bamford start because Roof needs a rest. Possibly Roof needs a rest, maybe so. But I do think Bamford should maybe get a start. I believe that. Andrew Saxton says rest for Sean Erling. It's a must. Not even just to rest them, they just need to come out because they haven't been doing great. In my opinion, I don't think Ayling's been good at all. You know, when Clark came on, you know, give him the ball. I mean, Conor spoke about it with me before. He was like, why didn't we give him the ball? And the times that he did get the ball, there was one where he fizzed it across for Alioski. I think their defender just got in the way. But there was other times where he'd pass it to Ayling and it broke down. For me, Ayling telegraphs his pass so much. If you watch him closely, guys, his instep, he fucking turns his instep. You can tell as a fan, I think, and especially as a professional footballer, which way he's trying to play the ball. But listen, I'm not a professional footballer, for fuck's sake, you know what I mean? And people might watch this and think, Joe, what are you talking about? But I can only go what I can see, yeah, and this is my opinion. When I watch Luke Ayling play, I can tell where he's going to play the ball. It's just where that's just what I see. I think he telegraphs his pass and it's broke down. It broke down all day at Stoke, and it was the same again at Norwich. Damar Facey says, can you sing happy birthday? No, mate, but I'll tell you happy birthday, mate. Stephen Darcy says, too many errors, heads went down and no one took control. I thought the guys applied themselves. Yes, they weren't great, but I thought they did apply themselves all night. They weren't good enough. I mean, Norwich absolutely bossed us second half, and fair play to Farker for doing so. But I think fan base, I think we did. I think it knocked the stuffing out of us. First 5 minutes, that goal, it did knock the stuffing out of us. None of us expected it. I will say that. Sean Sky says, Norwich fan here, chin up lads, it's just one game. I'd love Leeds to come in the Prem with us. It's where we both belong. Agreed, mate. And I have seen quite a lot of decent comments from Norwich fans. As I touched on earlier, one of them said I was deluded. I need to watch the game back. You had no chance. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. But everyone's entitled to their opinion. I know Dr. Frost said in the comments as well, he said, Annie, you think we were better first half, I think you need to check again. Again, that's your opinion, you know, everyone's entitled to it. I thought we were better first half. And I know speaking at half time with like little Claudio and speaking with my friend and another fan of the channel who's from Barnsley, we were all in agreement. We thought we'd done okay first half. We didn't deserve to be behind. But then like I know Conor didn't agree with that, you know, and that's why football is a game of opinions. You can talk about football all day long, you know. But I'm not deluded. I'm not fucking deluded. I'll tell you one thing as well, which took me by surprise. Someone actually said I was negative. Me? Listen, man, I'm definitely not negative. That's one thing I'm not. Someone commented on my video and said, stop being negative. It's only one game. Listen, if you're calling me negative, fucking... Honestly. Let's have a look. Danny Winters may not be a popular point of view, but we need someone who finishes better. I don't think. Let's have a look at the game. Okay, let's analyse the game. Who missed chances? Like, I don't think there was that many to say, nah, we need better finishing. We do it in the grand scheme of things. I mean, because even Bielsa's come out and said himself, right, that in terms of converting chances, we're down the bottom end of the table. But I think if you're looking solely at that Norwich game, there wasn't anywhere it was like, fucking, how's he missed that? How's he missed that? If you look at Roof earlier on in the season, for example, against QPR, where he had 3 gilt-edge opportunities and he missed them, fair enough. I do think that Bamford is a better finisher, though. I do think that, you know. And I would play Bamford on Saturday. I would probably play them both if we can. If we can get them both in, let's play them both. I just don't like Roof out wide. That's one thing I will say. But I thought, when they came on, I thought Roof and Bamford combined well, I thought. Conor says, Norwich similar to the Wolves defeat at home last season. Norwich to pull away now. As I said, I've checked their fixtures. I would probably tend to agree with that. If you look at their fixtures now, you know, I said pre-match as well. If you know, yes, they'd only won 1 of the last 6 games. But if you looked at the opposition, they played Forest. They played West Brom, I think. They played Derby, who they lost to. They played Sheffield United. You know, they played good teams. Good teams. And now they are undefeated in 13 away games. You know what I mean? 13. So you can look at the last fixtures. Obviously, it meant shit because we got schooled, didn't we, on the night? You know, especially in the second half. And if you look at their upcoming fixtures, I have to agree with Conor and think Norwich will run away with it now. We, on the other hand, have still got a lot of the big boys still left to play, starting on Saturday with Middlesbrough away. Fingers crossed, man. It's a must-win, honestly. It's massive. It's a massive game. Damar Facey says, what are your thoughts on rumours of Aaron Lennon? I don't like it, in all honesty. I don't think he's that great, in my opinion, and I think if we got promoted, we'd be looking at better than that. Can he get in? Where is he at now? Is he at Burnley? He was at Everton for a bit, then he went to Burnley. I just don't agree with Aaron Lennon coming back. I don't think he's that great anymore. I'd take him now. I'd take him now in the Championship, but if we got promoted, which is when it's been mentioned about next year, if we got promoted, for example, I don't want him in the Prem, in all honesty. And I think a lot of our, if we did get promoted, a lot of our additions would come from further afield. I think they'd come from Spain and stuff like that, you know. Just because of the way we're set up, I don't see us signing a lot of you know, players that are already playing the trade in the English divisions, in my opinion. I might be wrong, but again, everyone's entitled to it. Damar faces a lot of stuff about Cruel. Yeah, it is bullshit, man. I couldn't believe it when I've read it, you know, and he's come out giving it the big one, you know, saying, yeah, they're not Barcelona. Who said we were fucking Barcelona? You know what I mean? We're not saying that. I'm just annoyed that he hasn't been sanctioned, because you can guarantee, if it was a Leeds player, let's take Janssen for example. If that was Pontus Janssen, he would have been given retrospective action. Let's not kid ourselves, guys. He would have. Even Norwich fans that are in this chat now, or any opposing fans that are in this chat, you've got to ask yourself, man, why is Krul not getting retrospective action for that? Do you know what I mean? He's come out and give it like, oh, Paddy Bamford was giving our defender loads. Paddy Bamford, come on. You know what I mean? He's not the most fucking antagonistic kind of lad, is he, you know? And for it, nah, I'm not having it, man. It's just an absolute shit show. Again. Philip Millie and Tyrone Mings wasn't given any punishment. I think, in all honesty, from what I've seen the injury, but it wasn't intentional, was it? I might be wrong. I've not seen it back, guys. Let's have a look. Ollie says Shackleton to start instead of Ayling. I would have that personally. I just don't. I hope I'm wrong, but I can't see Bielsa changing Ayling. I think he'd said earlier on in the season, didn't he, when he said Ayling can play anywhere. And I think, you know, much like Forshaw, I said to you, man, from the start of the season, Bielsa loves Forshaw. He spoke so gloriously about Forshaw, you know what I mean? Even before Click was even mentioned and all this stuff, and then Forshaw get injured, and then we seen the emergence of Click and all this stuff. Trust me, he loves Forshaw, and I think Ayling's in that same category. And I just hope but he has come out today, by all accounts. I was reading a piece that Phil Hay said, where he'd said he got the selection wrong, and you know he might change it up. I watched Conor's live stream after the game, the bits that I could on the way home, and he spoke about a potential 3 at the back, you know, of Berardi, Janssen, Cooper, and then wing backs. I would play Shackleton in wing back all day personally, but again, will he do that? Philip Millian said he'd seriously consider playing Bamford instead of or with Roof. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement, and I think we will see that on Saturday, in all honesty. I think you'll see Tyler Roberts in there as well, because I thought Tyler Roberts had a good game. Where they all fit in, listen, I'm not a fucking master manager. That's up to Bielsa. But I just hope Roof's not out wide. He can't play out wide. I don't think Harrison covered himself in glory, in all honesty. Yeah, he got on the ball, but did he do much with it? Clark had another decent performance. I just don't know how we're going to line up on Saturday. It'll be interesting to see. And I think me and Conor spoke about it before, and he said, look, if you look at the home game, we struggled to create chances against Borough. We will struggle again on Saturday. They're a defensive unit. The one thing we do have is they've not been great at home. So hopefully that form continues. Philip Millian says Roof will be shithoused by 3 huge centre-backs. Yeah, you know what I mean? You're right. I think Danny Batt's gone to Stoke, can he? But, you know, they've got Ayala. We all know how we feel about that horrible scumbag that is Ayala. They've got what's-his-face from Bristol City, probably their top scorer. And then they've got that Dale Fry, Shotton at the back as well. And George Friend as well. They're a solid unit. And John Obi Mikel as well. Like my pals have been telling me, he's been putting in some top quality performances, and he's going to be, you know, covering that back line, is he? Yeah, Aidan Flint, that's the one. So they are going to be difficult to break down, and much like Stoke, it could be very much like Stoke, guys. Honestly, stuff needs to change. Personnel need to change. The way we attack needs to change. Something needs to change, because people has found us out. As I said to you on before, and I heard it on the radio, I thought it was a great analogy. Tee to green, there ain't many teams better than us, okay? Bringing it out from the back, if you take Saturday out of the equation, the way we can move from defence to attack is beautiful. When we get to the attacking, you know, the final third of the pitch, it breaks down. It breaks down. You know, having Clark, he showed on Saturday when he came off the bench, he's able to beat players. He crossed it in. You know, Alioski was just beat to it by one of the Norwich defenders. But they're the sort of players, that's why we needed a player like Dan James. When you've got players like Harrison, you know, and Alioski on wings, they're not your quintessential wingers that you need, that are able to take a player on and get balls into the box for someone like Roof to be at. So I just don't know, guys. I don't have the answers. And I'm really worried for Saturday. Really, really worried, in all honesty, because, you know, I can't be dealing with no playoff shite, honestly. As you can tell, I'm still down and just worried about it. You know, if we beat Borough, you know, everything changes, doesn't it? You know what I mean? That's football for you. Let's have a look. Sean's guy said, this is a Norwich fan, I believe. He says Norwich scored at crucial times. The game could have been very different. Second half, we were class. I agree with that, mate. Andrew Saxon says, do you think Bielsa will stop naming the squad until match day? It's costing us results. I was watching a Norwich preview from a Norwich fan and pointing it out every time Bielsa names his squad, we lose. There might be a lot in that. I think he won't see it as that though. You know, Bielsa will say, listen, doesn't matter. It's about us being able to find answers to break them down. But I do think he should stop naming it. In all honesty, I do think he should. Because, you know, Daniel Farke's got different things to think about if he thinks, for example, Clark could maybe start. So, right, guys, if Clark starts, we need to do X, Y, Z. But if he knows his lineup fucking Thursday, he knows which team to set up and how we're going to play. You know, if you're going to switch KP for Forshaw, for example, if they know Forshaw's playing and they know he's a little bit laboured on the ball, they know he doesn't get it out as quick as what KP is, attack that guy. Whereas if you know fucking an hour before kickoff, you know, there's a lot to it, isn't there? You know, from Thursday, all they need to do then is just prepare for that one side. You know Clark's not starting, so we don't need to worry too much about doubling up on him, for example. Whereas if you find out an hour before kickoff, where you've already named your squad, you then need to tell personnel, right, okay, you now need to switch your role slightly and do X, Y, Z. You know, but if you know by Thursday, then it's much like us going to fucking view how someone's shaping up. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is. Like when we were spying, yeah? Or when we were going to games, he was checking shape, right? Let's say he's checking shape. We're telling teams our shape before we've even fucking got to Saturday. You know? So, yeah, I think you've got a point, Andrew, you know? And you guys, let me know if you agree or disagree, because, you know, there is a lot to be said about that. If for example, he knows, let's say on Thursday it comes to it and, you know, Roof and Bamford are different type of strikers, for example. And if Bielsa's turning around and saying, right, we're going to play with this one or this one, then the defenders know who they're going up against and how they need to, you know, press. Or there is a lot to be said for it, you know. So let's see. You know, I don't know. Nick Muller says Ipswich will beat Norwich on Sunday. It's a big game, right? It's a derby game, so let's hope you're right. Ollie, Bamford on his return to Borough would love to beat them. I've said for a week he scores the winner. And I hope I'm right. And I hope he gives it the old kiss of the badge. He won't, but you know what I mean. Darren Walker says, Izzy Brown interesting. Let's hope we see him on Saturday. That's all I want to do. David Chat says, we've conceded goals since Ayling's been back. CJ Wood says, I haven't felt so gutted after a match for a long time. Some big decisions need to be made. Ayling's not at the minute, and for all his work rate, Alioski's quality of delivery isn't good enough. Now I agree with that. But you know what? That's another thing as well. When Barry Douglas was brought on, and I understand the reason for bringing him on in terms of, you know, different option, changing Harrison, moving Alioski up, putting Douglas in at left back. But Douglas was absolutely shite. For their third goal, he was fucking in the centre of the pitch and he lost the ball. He wasn't great at all. You know, a lot of them need to take a look at themselves. Listen, you might think I'm being too dramatic, but I just think things need to change and quick. Because we could start to tumble, guys. You know, I'm not saying we're going to drop out of the top 6. Never in a million years. But we were top of the league, right? And we've lost 4 of the last 6 games. You know, if you turn a few of them round and you wins, you know, we're in a healthy position, you know. I just think, and look, the burnout thing's still an issue. Me and Conor have spoke about it as well. The burnout thing is still an issue. Are we experiencing it now? Do you know what I mean? Because the players are shadows of what they were earlier in the season. You know? And 4 losses out of 6 tells you all you need to know, guys. So let's not kid ourselves. We are not in great form. But we're still top 2. And I'm buzzing for that. And if we win on Saturday, then it's all rosy game, right? And we're all happy. And we look at the next games then. I think it's Swansea at home. Win that. QPR, I think, then. You win that, you know. So, you know, things can change. Things can change. Sorry, I'm getting a very behind your comments, guys. I do. I do apologise. Michael Zanetti, I know he's a fan of the channel. Nah, I'm losing my comments, guys. I'm that far behind. It's just getting shot of him. I'll try catch up. I do apologise. Let's have a look. Yeah, Northampton White says you can't take anything for granted in this league. There are a lot of strange results. Agreed, mate. Andrew Saxton, defo rotate Roof and Bamford around yet. Michael Zanetti says, a fan of the channel, I know. He says Forshaw is not a DM. Agreed, mate. I think he needs to play a little bit further forward. If he's going to play him, KP has to come into that role, right? Yeah, Jack Jennings says every game is a must win, yeah. He says Bolton is nearly sold out already. Good. Blaze Dragon says can't see us winning this weekend, Joe. I genuinely think we will slip away now and definitely won't get top 2. I hope you're wrong, mate. I hope you're wrong. But I can understand why people would start to think that, because listen, we've lost 4 out of 6 games. That's a lot, yeah. And we ain't got no. You can't say look at Norwich and think right, we've come through a rough patch. We've now got some winnable games, yeah. I don't know if it was Conor mentioned that they've got 5 of the bottom 6 or something in the next few games. But there we go. Northampton White says Will Swansea played Dan James. I'm not sure. He didn't play on the weekend, did he? He said he needs to get his head right, so we'll see. Conor says people may talk about Norwich luck, but at the end of the day, we've not been great for a while. 4 out of 6 losses. Form has to improve if we want the top 2. Yeah, much like what I've been saying, really, to be fair. We can't kid ourselves. And Claudio says a few of them have been unlucky. They might be unlucky, mate, but at the end of the season, what does it fucking matter? If you're 5th or 3rd, you go, yeah, but some of them were unlucky. Some of them were unlucky. Don't care, Leeds, you're in playoffs. Do you know what I mean? So that doesn't mean out, you know. And you make your own luck, right? You make your own luck. And we have this is the thing. You can't paper over it, guys. We're going through a bad run of form. We have to. Dave Wagstaff says Clark looks poor because of the lack of support from Ayling. I thought he was good when he came on. We just didn't get the ball to him enough. And when he has played and has started, he's just been doubled up on. And it's about us finding answers to that. And that's what Bielsa needs to work on all week now, is making sure we're right and we're able to break down a fucking brick wall that is Middlesbrough's defence. Conor says Ayling has been dog shit since the first half of the Monk era. I don't think he's the same player he was under Monk, in all honesty. I thought he was good, and I said in my post-match, I don't know if it's because he's missing Kyle Bartley, but he hasn't been great. He was poor before his injury. He's come back from his injury and he's even fucking worse, let's be honest. For me, Shackleton has to start there. And not only that, if you think about it, Shackleton's a midfielder. Shackleton is a midfielder, and he's been outperformed by Shackleton, so he needs to look at himself. Same with Douglas, you know. I think Cooper and Janssen are absolutely solid. Love Kiko Casilla. I think KP needs to come back in. Click's not been great. Yeah, he scored the 2 against Rotherham, but he's not the same player that started the season. Pablo's form's dipped a little bit. Yeah, he's a magician. Yeah, he's the man. You know, but his performances in the last few haven't been great. Yes, he's assisted loads, but let's be honest. Yeah, you can look at numbers all day, but his performances haven't been great. Roof, for me, Roof does his job. He runs all fucking day. But listen, sometimes if you don't get the ball to him, you know what I mean? He can't do it with it. I think he runs all day. He tries to win free kicks all day. You know, changes are needed and quick. We need Izzy Brown in there with a lot riding on that kid. If he comes in and don't do nothing, then we're fucked. Let's be honest. Let's have a look. How many points out of the next 5 do you want, Joe? If you could let me know the next 5. I'm just trying to think. You've got Borough, you've got Swansea, you've got QPR, I think. Then there's a game, and then it's West Bromwich Albion, I believe. Sorry, I don't know off the top of my head. Stephen Allen says, hello Joe, Borough fan here. It's going to be a tough game on Saturday. I'm unable to predict a score. Best of luck. Thank you very much, Stephen, for that. Best of luck for yourself as well. Hopefully we'll win. Notoriously, we do well at the Riverside. We do well at the Riverside. So hopefully we will get a result. And we owe them one after last year. Remember that hat-trick? Paddy Bamford. Let's have a look. Darren Walker says Marcello will turn it around. I hope you're right. Let's have a look. Sean Wilson gives us his team. He says Casilla, Alioski, Janssen, Cooper, Shackleton, Phillips, Forshaw, Clark, Hernandez, Bamford, Roof. I'd have Click in there instead of Forshaw. There we go. Let's have a look. Well, why isn't it doing bad? Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran. The Ed Sheeran. He says your defence are a shambles. I wouldn't say that much, mate. We've got a good back line. They're just not performing great. I think you'll struggle to find a better partnership at centre back, I think, in the league on the day. J. Alan Smith says Shackleton and Alioski at wing backs. Ayling's form has dipped badly and Douglas is not himself. I agree. Roof at 10. I think maybe Bamford maybe at 10. I think. Freddie O'Neill says Flint is basically Pontus. No, I don't really rate Flint all that much, mate. He just scores goals. I don't even think he's done that this season. In all honesty, easy for me to say. Claudio says Flint's been injured for a while. Okay, if that's the case. Darren Walker, keep it respectful. There must be a lot of stuff going down. Yeah, and then Philip Million touches on Spygate. Yeah, we still don't know. We still don't know what's going on there, do we? In all honesty. So we shall see. They'll probably leave it till end of season, and we'll probably 3 points. We're probably in second, and then they'll sanction us, and we'll drop down to third. That'll probably be their fucking. That'll be their shit. Someone commented on my video as well. A Derby fan says, "See you in the playoffs. You've got to make it yet, son." Conor says, "Why are people still wanting Harrison over Clark? Someone tell me how he warrants a start over Clark." I think pre Saturday, I thought Harrison had done okay, mate. In all honesty, Clark hadn't, and I think we said on Talking Shot ourselves that there was scope for him to come out. Seeing Harrison's performance on Saturday, yeah, he wasn't great. Do you put Clark back in? I think there's a case for it, in all honesty. Who it depends who they have at right back. They'll have Shotton Maybes or Dale Fry. I know he's sometimes been filling in at right back. I think he will get in there. Let's have a look. Conor says Getty is better at half time, but there is no way Harrison supplements Clark's qualities. Now, probably you've got a point there, and we're back to there as well. Just questioning the players that we've brought in. Again, have we done enough? I spoke to my friend who I got the game with, and he was like, "Mate, Casilla just wasn't enough. We should have done more. All eggs in one basket. Everyone else is strengthened." And this is what one loss does to you, but it's the manner of the loss as well, isn't it? And it just makes everyone start to fucking question everything, right? And feel right down about it all. But let's hope we can get a result on Saturday. What are everyone's thoughts on Saturday? What do you see the results being? I see it being a tight cagey affair. But hopefully I'm wrong. Yeah, Conor says he did fine versus Derby. Can't do well when the midfield are too incompetent to give the kid a ball. J. Alan Smith says, agree, Freddie. Clark makes more impact off the bench. I think you've got a point there, but when you look at, I think, like Conor says, when you're looking at the personnel that are getting ahead of him, like on Saturday, for example, is Harrison better than Clark? No. But I think we all agreed that Clark needed to come out based on the performances after Derby. They weren't great. So there. David Brooks says, I think we are burning out. I think there's a lot to be said for that, mate. There is a question of it, but let's look at the facts. We've lost 4 of the last 6 games. That's a hell of a lot of games, man. Sean Wilson says, I love that we are hated. We are hated because we are Leeds and you're not Leeds. Riverside see more atmosphere in a tramps under crackers. Freddie O'Neill says, what do you lads think about Izzy Brown not being out in the squad but playing week in, week out for under 23s? Yeah, agree. He needs to be put on the bench now for me. We need to start seeing him. That's what I keep coming back to. I don't understand how Bamford, there was no mention of him. We all thought he was way off. It's like they kept it as a secret. And then he plays on the bench, comes on a score. He hasn't had as much game time as what fucking Izzy has. Yes, Izzy's been out for a year. I don't know. I don't know if Bielsa's questioning his attitude, because by all accounts Phil said he wants to see him do it in a game for the under-23s where he can look at the game and say, yeah, okay, you've done enough, let me get you in. But listen, he's scoring week in, week out. We need some fresh impetus. We need something to shake it up. We need personnel. We need exciting players. You know, and is he that man? I think Conor touched on it before about him being able to ghost into positions for such a tall lad. We need something, guys, because at the minute, we're just running out of ideas. Come back to it again. Tee to green, totally fine. Get there, fucking taking us 8 or 9 putts to put it in the fucking hole. Do you know what I mean? Stuff needs to change. And against a very good Borough defence, you know what I mean? It's just going to show up even more, in my opinion. I think we're going to struggle to break them down. Look at Stoke. I went to Stoke. It was fucking shocking. It was hard to watch. As I say, we had a lot of the ball. We got there. We resorted to pot crosses against fucking probably combined 18 foot of fucking, you know, Martins, Indy, Shawcross and Williams for Roof. And trust me, if Borough do the similar sort of job, it's going to be the same outcome, guys. It is. Honestly, we're going to struggle. So something needs to change, and quick. Obviously, we've not been able to bring in James. That's so disappointing. He could have ignited a bit of spark, give us something different. You know, if you're starting with James, you're bringing him off and you're replacing him with Clark, or vice versa. That causes trouble all day. But at the minute, when we're starting Alioski or fucking Harrison on the wings, it's just not working, guys, you know. And then you've got Forshaw and... You know what I mean? Questions need to be asked. No one is exempt of criticism. I think the lineup on Saturday was all wrong. I think we all, as fans, were shocked to see KP not starting. Why didn't he start? But it comes back to that stubbornness of Bielsa. Listen, no one's exempt from criticism. He is the Messiah. He is the God. You know, he's done wonders for this football club. But it wasn't the right decision. And he's come out and said that. But will he change it? Will we see Forshaw come out? Will we see Ayling come out? We shall see. You know what I mean? We shall see. Let's have a look. Oh, Spencer, something about I think he's talking about Hull City, I think. Sorry. Mauled by the Tigers, rah rah rah. Yeah, Jason Hill says Borough have got a cup game. Surely that's advantage Leeds. Yeah, there is a lot to be said about that. They do have to go. We do have to go down to... They have to go to Newport. No, not Newport. Is it Newport, guys? Fucking hell, it's left my mind. Is it Newport? It's Newport, right? So we got knocked out, but I forget, man. They have to go down there, and they have to go to Wales. I don't know if it's Tuesday or Wednesday. And by all accounts, Tony Pulis played a very strong side for that first game. So there's not a chance that he's then going to play a weakened side for the second game at their place. I don't see it, because then, if anything, what you've done is just wait. You've just caused yourself another game, you know. You've gone all out at home to think, right, let's win this game, let's get through and put this one to bed. And then when you lose the game, if you then play a weakened side down in Newport, surely it's a stupid exercise, because people were like saying, you've made us have another game now and we've still not got through. Do you know what I mean? So I think he's going to play a strong side, or strongest side, on midweek. He has to, surely. Or does he say, you know what, I'm willing to take the loss because we've got a big game coming up against Leeds, so I'm willing to rest players. But why not do that in the first game? Because now you've caused yourself an extra game. Can you see my thought process, my logic behind it? Surely he's going to play another strong side. Stephen Darcy says, when Berardi is back, he will make right back his. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I have thought about that, but I haven't really touched on it. Does Berardi come back on Saturday, and does he play at right back instead of Ayling, and does Ayling come out? Ed Sheeran says, how are you with long aerial balls flying in the box? He must be a Borough fan. I mean, if you like that sort of shit, then fair play to you. Your home crowd says different, because you're not doing well, lads. So, you know, your home fans mustn't agree with you. But I think we did okay when you came to our place, mate. And it was 0-0, so I think we'll be alright. Wise Peacock says, we aren't experienced enough or have the squad depth for the playoffs. We need top 2, 100%. I don't know about... Yeah, we don't have the squad depth and we're not experienced, but we just don't want the playoffs. It's a lottery, I hate it. And look at our, you know, our history in that. Michael Zanetti touches on Bolton. Yeah, we've got Bolton coming up as well, which you would hope we would win that game. Let's out. We've got Sheffield United. There's a lot of love for the Hull fan in there, as you can see. Just stop replying to him, guys. He's clogging up the feed. Guillermo Albertini says, we as fans count our chickens before they hatch. Yeah, we'll beat Swansea. Yeah, we'll beat QPR. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. No, I'm not getting ahead, but you've got to look at them games and see them as winnable, right? You know, otherwise it'd be pointless predicting any fucking game, mate. You know, if you've seen a run of fixtures, well, what's the point? Let's not count as chickens. Mate, at the end of the day, you've got to look at certain games and say, right, yeah, that's winnable, that's winnable. And that's all I'm saying. I'm just making a prediction. For me, a team that's second in the league and has played as well as us should beat Swansea at home, should beat QPR. I'm just making a prediction. I'm not saying, yeah, we'll steamroll them, but we should beat them, right? They're games that are winnable. Tiger Steel says, can we play Derby every week? I would love that. Spence says 9 wins will get us up. I hope you're right. How many's we've got? What, 16 games left now. There's a lot of people telling Claudio to get that. Wayne May says only West Brom really strengthened. Okay, I think Villa done all right, but Villa too far away. Norwich bought a centre back, was it, from Germany? Derby bought Ashley Cole. Who else? Forest did quite a lot of business. So we'll see. Let's have a look. Michael Zanetti said he'd take a draw. Yeah, I think. Wow, but no, it's a must win. It's a must win. But I know what you're saying. On the context of the game, depending on how it pans out, do you take a draw? Like my mate today, who's a season ticket holder at Borough, and he said he'd take a draw now. He said that. And I said, we've got to win. We've got to win. We've got to win. We've got to look at it. We've got to win them games to stay in that top two. Stay in that top two. And I took a draw on Saturday, I'm not going to lie, and that's at home. But we've got to beat Borough. We've got to beat Borough. But I would have took a draw at Saturday. And I said that pre-match, you know. Let's have a look. Yeah, Dylan House says our thoughts will change depending on the result at Borough. 100%, mate, you know. Let's not be honest. As football fans, we are fickle. Let's not kid ourselves. And it'll be all rosy if we beat Borough and, you know, on Monday Night Football, you'll have a different Joe, as you can expect. Conor agrees with what Freddie. Freddie basically says if we get in playoffs, we won't go up. Conor says he agrees with that. Yeah, and he goes on to say we've never been good in the playoffs. That's totally true. We haven't. You know, Michael's gone on to said that scares him to death. Me too, you know. And Wayne Mace goes on to says, in my opinion, it takes a certain type of player to stand the pressure of Ellen Road. Our fan base turns so quickly, it can be our biggest danger. Let's have a look. What kind of players are we talking about in question? I think the current crop are okay. They're doing a good job. They get it. I think they've bought into it. Let's have a look. Conor says he's bang on his jaw. We are persisting with 2 left backs on the wing. Izzy scores 4 of 3 in the under-23s. Do we think we are maybe being overcautious? What if it's too late when he comes back in? Yeah, I think he needs to come back in now, and I think Bielsa would be daft not to bring him in. He's come out and said in his press conference, not in his press conference, but in the Yorkshire Evening Post that Phil's put out today. I don't know when that was said, but he's basically said, I've made errors, things need to change, personnel need to change, and surely now, what I don't understand, and I've repeated myself now, is what I don't understand is the Bamford situation. There's been no mention of him for weeks. He's not played in any under-23s games. He makes the bench, he scores. You've got Izzy Brown now, who's played probably 6 under-23s games in a row. Scored in maybe 4 of them. And he's not on the bench. Don't understand it. Don't understand it. Especially when you look at our bench, yeah? I said, if we beat Norwich, it'd be ours to lose, yeah? Because then we'd have bodies back. Now, for me, even that one loss, we're in a bit of a dogfight, but we need them bodies back and quick. Because imagine if we lose at Borough, guys. Do you know what I mean? That's 5 out of 7. It's a lot, man. And then it's just Leeds, isn't it? You know. We know the song that everyone likes to sing. I just can't deal with that shit, man. I mean, we must win. We must win. Dave Wagstaff says Bielsa's benched him as a punishment for getting sent off against QPR. Philip Million says he will make changes in my eyes. A system change could be potential. Yeah, I agree with that. Damar Facey says we said this about Stoke and they still beat us. Para Dave says, do you think keeping all our eggs in one basket has weakened the team with no new fresh legs transfer wise with so many injuries? Yeah, I think we said on Talking Shut as well, like the way Bielsa works, if he doesn't get Dan James, he's not going to go after another. It's just we have to accept that as Leeds fans, with Marcello being our coach. And I said before, I remember in the early parts of the season when fans were kicking off about us playing it out from the back and it being very risky, we have Leeds fans have to accept that fact because that's how he plays. And it's paid dividends up till this point, you know. And it's a similar sort of thing, you know. We just have to accept it. I know there's a lot of people that are on about his stubbornness and that. Human says, I don't understand why Bielsa has so much trust in Roof. Well, Bamford's only just come back. Who else are you going to play there? I think Roof's done fantastic this season. I don't even think you can question him personally, nor can you question Bielsa for playing him. Because who else do you play there? I think Roof's had a cracking season. One of the standout performers, in my opinion. But again, you guys might not disagree. I've seen a lot of people saying, "Nah, he needs to come out. We need a new attacker." Da da da. But I think he's done a cracking job, me personally. J. Allen Smith says, Berra back in. KP in front of the back four could make a huge difference. Been leaking too much at the back with Forshaw playing the Phillips role. Agreed, mate. I think the thing about KP is he's a lot quicker. I mean, if you look at Forshaw, look at the amount of times he sometimes gets caught on the ball. He does protect it a lot, but sometimes it's a bit, you know, hairy, a bit like, you know, and look at how lackadaisical he was for their second goal when he put his foot on the ball. Shouldn't be losing it there. And it was very much like the fucking the Nottingham Forest game. And I believe in all honesty it was him that turned his back on the free kick as well, that they scored, which he shouldn't be doing. Freddie O'Neill says, I would not take a draw against Borough. Nor me. Conor says, when you've lost 4 out of 6, you cannot go to Borough, who are below us, and go for a draw. It's such a mediocre mentality. You want to go up in the top 2, you have to win these games, end of. Yeah, and I agree with that. That's what I'd said, you know. It's just a must-win, you know. It's a must-win. Listen, I sort of disagree with that. On Saturday, for example, I knew the stern test that Norwich possessed, and pre-match, you know, I said to all, and I'd have took that. But now when you've lost this game to Norwich, you look at the bodies in and around you, you know, West Brom, Sheffield United and Borough, it's a must-win. You have to win this game. You know, and the fact that Borough fans who I've spoken to are willing to take a draw, that says, doesn't it? It says the you know, potential we possess against them, you know. I just don't, I think we'll struggle to break them down, man. I genuinely believe that. I think we're going to struggle to break them down unless there's key personnel changes. And if we see key personnel changes, you know, a lineup that's going to excite us. If we see the same lineup that we've seen on Saturday as a fan base, I don't care what you're going to say, we're going to be a bit downbeat. Because KP needs to come back in. Ayling needs to be dropped. Bamford needs to come in. Izzy Brown needs to be on the bench. Harrison needs to come out. Does Douglas go back at left back and then you move Alioski at left wing, or does Alioski just come out? Do you know what I mean? I thought Roberts has done really well. Do you keep Roberts in the 10? Do you put Pablo on the right? Do you maybe put Roof on the left and put Bamford up top? Or do you put Robert, you know, just things need to change, man. Things do need to change. Let's get to a few of your more recent comments, guys. Let's have a look. Hugh Man says, do you think it's coincidence that we start losing when we stop playing? Yeah, massive coincidence. You know, he don't get that much from it. We've seen that in the fucking in the presentation that he did. Slow Steady Steve says, back free with the height of Apway. Halmy this weekend is needed. He won't do it. Andrew Saxton with a fully fit squad, no injuries. What's our ultimate starting 11? We have to see what his is about, mate. We have to see what his is about. You need to choose between Roof and Bamford. We'll have to see. Michael Zanetti says, Joe, you look cold, pal. Where is your coat? It is really cold, you know. Temperature's dropped in Sunderland. I did have my coat on, but I took it off. But it is really cold, man, in this garage. You can see me breath, man. Let's have a look. Scott Lightning says, Adam scapegoat 4-shot. I don't think anyone's scapegoating him. Is anyone scapegoating him? He's had a poor performance. You're entitled to do that. I hate that, you know, when people say he's scapegoating him. If he's not been great, he's not been great. And that's true. Dave Wagstaff says, we won't come up against an attacking threat like last Saturday. They are very, very good, weren't they? They were very, very good, and they had all the... the tactics were bang on, weren't they? You know what I mean? They knew when to press, when to attack. They just bossed us, really, especially that second half. Eden Burrows says, how can you not rate the keeper? He has played 2 games. The first he made a game-winning save, and in the next he had no chance for all 3 goals. I haven't seen who blamed Kiko. I don't know if that's been retracted or whatever, but I don't think you can blame Kiko either. You know, the first one was a deflection. The second one was a deflection, and he was at sea. If it doesn't touch Cooper or Janssen, whichever one it was, he saves it. And for the third, it took a slight nick that changed the direction of the ball. Stephen Darcy says he blames the defeat on my deadline day tie. I'll fucking burn it, mate, if that's the case. Conor said it when we lost him. Saiz is a mental loss. Wasn't his assists we lost. It's his threat. He takes 3 players out of the game, created space for every midfielder. Frustrating. Yeah, he was doing that in the early parts of the season. I remember being on Talking Short and people saying about putting 2 players on him and stuff. And the fact that he doesn't have assists. I remember having a chat with my Borough fan when I said Borough fan mate who said Saiz isn't that great. His numbers don't add up. And I said, yeah, but it's what he brings to the side and who he takes from the side. But for me, Saiz, fuck off. Like, I'm a little bit annoyed at him, to be honest. It is what it is. Wayne May says, didn't think they were that special. He was at fault for third goal. I don't think he was, mate. If you watch it back, it's a slight nick off Cooper. The Marface says, how's the little lad? Doing good, mate. Charlie Brady says, do you think we will beat Borough? I don't know, mate. I genuinely don't know. I hope we do, and we must. And if it is, it's going to be tight. It's going to be very tight. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm just so nervous for it because it's such a big game, especially based on their results this weekend. We have to go there. We have to perform. Conor says, never seen my man this on the fence. Because I just don't know, man. This is what I'm saying. You know, I was nervous. See, I was nervous before Rotherham, right? And I said to myself, I said, it's a nervy game, right? Splinters. I said before Rotherham I was nervous before the game, yeah. And I said if they score first we would struggle, and I just the reason it's like that is because it's a different side to the team we had in the early parts of the season. If we were playing like we would in the early parts of the season, we steamrolled most teams. Before we played Borough the first time, I was confident then. This game, I just don't know. I don't know if I'm still thinking about, you know, Norwich and looking at that and trying to find any positives. The only positive for me, I thought Roberts was bright. I thought Clark was bright. But other than that, I'm scratching my head. Or as Conor would say, I'm scratching the splinters in my ass. Do you know what I mean? But Saturday, I just don't know. If the lineup's the same, I ain't feeling positive, in all honesty, because there's no spark. I keep going back to it, but we can get to the final third with ease, and we will do it. We will do it. But when it's going to be hard, and they could do a Stoke on us, and just result to us being passed out of the wings and fucking knocking it over. Do you know what I mean? And who's in there? There needs to be massive personnel change. Massively. Yeah, exactly. Conor says there, positively, he changes the lineup and is he on the bench? You never know. And this is what I mean. We need to see a personnel change. We need to look at that team and think, right, okay, I'm confident now. We can do something. There's a spark there, you know. At the minute, it's just not there. If I see Harrison, for example, on the wing, if I see Alioski on the other wing, Douglas and Alien at the back, no, it's just not going to work. You know, Pablo in the 10. Pablo, for me, needs to be on the right, you know. Clark needs to start. Izzy needs to be on the bench. You know, Bamford needs to come in. You know, Forshaw needs to come out. I just don't know, guys. Honestly, I just don't know. Wayne May says he watched the Borough game Saturday. They were wank. West Brom should have buried them. 1-0 Leeds. Let's have a look. Yeah. Derek Burgess says, why are our defenders giving really silly, unnecessary free kicks in dangerous positions that result in a goal? Where's their brains? It's costing us, boys. Yeah, I thought Janssen was stupid going on his little maze up as well before that. Phillips, Douglas and Bamford to start. Douglas though? Really? I know Alioski wasn't great, but what did Douglas do when he came on? He lost the ball for the third in the centre of the park. Has Douglas been great? Does Douglas warrant a start? Ask yourself, does he? I don't think he does. Michael Zanetti says, Norwich game has knocked the wind out of Joe's sails. Come on, lad, I'm a glass half full guy. I need you telling me the stars have aligned. Hey, I know, right? It has proper. It has knocked the stuffing out of me. Trust me. I'm still reeling from it though. It's only Monday. I'll do my post-match on Thursday and we'll be fucking battering Borough 3-0. Let's have a look. Demarfis says you scratch away. Yeah, he needs to change the lineup, doesn't he? Sean Wilson, is it still our time? It is, mate, it is. I'm just feeling a little bit down at the minute. It is still our time. I've told you before, the stars have aligned. It's our time. We're going to beat Borough. We're going to go on a run now. Look what happened after West Brom. We're going to go on a run, man. You heard it here first. Let's hope so. We will see. But we've got to look and let's be honest with ourselves. Yes, I'm positive. Yes, the stars are aligning on this, but we've lost 4 of the last 6, guys. We were shite on Saturday. We're going up against a team that have just beat West Brom. The shithousers. We shall have to. I just don't know at the moment, guys. I just don't know. Parry Dave says, cheer up, Joe. Just tell the screws to turn the heating on inside. Turn the heating on. David Goodman said, Middlesbrough are awful. We will battle them. Yeah, they've not been great, mate. They haven't, mate. And like I say, I know a lot of them. I speak to a lot of them. You know, I spoke to one of my mates today, and he said, nah, we won't get top 2. We're not great. We're shite at home. So hopefully we will get a result there, guys. I just think we, as a unit, at this moment in time, struggle to break teams down. And Borough, I think they've got the best... I don't know. Mine's gone blank. They've got the most clean sheets this season. So for a team that in the minute are really struggling to break teams down, we're going up against a team that fucking do shutouts all day. Do you know what I mean? Play 5 at the back with John Obi McKell in front. By all accounts as well, speaking to my Borough fans, he's been absolutely brilliant since he's come in. And that's just speaking to my Borough fans. I've not watched him personally, but I'm just going off what they said. Apparently on Saturday he was class. So we shall see. Yeah, we beat Borough, Joe's title. Doubt us now. Yeah, we shall see. Charlie Brady says, we've been shite ever since Villa. Don't agree, mate. If you look at that Derby game, that was our best performance of the season. Darren Walker says, he can't afford the electric bill. I can, man. You don't get these shirts from Tesco for notes, son. Michael Zanetti's on a promise from the missus, so he's going to get off. And I think I am as well, guys. We've been running now for 65 minutes. So I'll say my piece out. Guys, make sure you look out, obviously, no Transfer Tuesday, because... no Transfer Tuesday, because it's not fucking January anymore. So I think what I might look to do, if Conor can, I think he was looking at doing some sort of debrief after the game on Saturday. So maybe he can fill that void for us. Wednesdays, Oscar's All Leeds TV investigates. He's got a nice little treat for us. Thursdays, your pre-matches. Friday is Friday night football. Then Saturday, it's the big one, 1 o'clock against Borough at the Riverside. Can't wait for it. Like I say, boys, it's my birthday, so fingers crossed. You know, we can get all 3 points. I'm actually going to a hotel after the game with our lass. Going to Lumley Castle. If any of you know it, it's an absolutely mint venue. So I'll be doing my post-match in a nice little mint little venue in Lumley Castle. So watch out for that. No longer in Armley. We're going to step it up a little another level. But yeah, J Army says he's worrying. Don't think we will get promoted. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes, boys. Listen, remember I told you, don't be worried, J Army. Shall I tell you why? Because it's our time. It's our time. Hey, honestly, guys, it's our time. It's our time. So let's forget about this depressing episodes of Monday Night Football, and let's look forward to the exciting pre-match that I'm going to give you when we're going to win Borough 3-0. We do, no, notoriously though, we do well at the Riverside, so hopefully that form, you know, take last year out of the equation, we do well at the Riverside. So let's hope we can continue that form, and let's hope we come away from there with results. Then we can beat Swansea, then we can beat QPR, then we can beat Bolton. You know what I mean? Fuck Norwich, we're going on a run. Believe in the Shield. If any of you watch WWE, you'll get that reference. But I'm rambling now, guys. Rambling of the South Stand, Conor. I'm rambling. No, but thank you so much for tuning in. As per, I know we're all a little bit down. The numbers haven't been as big as you know they were previously. But let's do this, man. Let's do this. Freddie O'Neill. Yeah, man. You know, son. Believe in the Shield. But yeah, I much like Jason says, I predict Bamford to bang on. Cheer up, Joe. You could be out in 6 years. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Yeah. Agree with what Dave Wagstaff said. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Please hit the notification button. All that jazz. Wayne May says negativity gets no rewards. Exactly, Wayne. We're going to win, mate, and we're going to win well. Yeah. We're going to win, man. We're going to win on Saturday. Let's do this. Marching on together. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. And I will see you all on Thursday for my pre-match. You're all absolute legends. You all Leeds TV faithful. Thank you so much for tuning in. Marching on together.